Hello.
Hello.
Right now we'll be talking about focus.
Because it's Casual Friday, right?
That's right.
And no one likes to focus on a Friday.
No, buddy.
I'm going to try and distract you, buddy.
We're distracting you.
How do you focus? How are there so many distractions during the day that you overcome to get your job done and stay productive?
Email, text, WhatsApp.
Oh, hold on for a second. I'm getting a call.
Dog barking, baby crying, knock at the door from a delivery. How do you deal with that? How do you deal with working? How do you deal with possibility of working back at an office if you don't already do that? What about hybrid work? That's what we're going to be discussing today briefly, and I'll give you some tips on how I do it. But first, I'd like to hear how Maria.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what's been on top of our mind, yes, like focus. We were just having a sidebar conversation before we set this up about, oh my goodness, you know, you're in a meeting, you're trying to get work done. So you end your meeting, you've got time set for the work, the physical work. And all of a sudden, a Slack pings and you're like, oh, I must take care of that. That's a distraction. You know, your phone goes off, you know, someone at your house needs something in another room. You're like, okay, I need to deal with that. You know, an email comes in. It's really important because it came up in the top right hand and it says the subject. All of these things really just do cause a lot of mental quick distractions. And you know, it takes about 15 minutes to get back into that deep level of focus that you're in. So I'll share with you some of my things and hopefully you'll share some of yours and you can share some of yours. Okay, so the very first thing that I do to focus is I do block out dedicated time and I will set a timer. And I know it sounds freaky, but I have a to-do list if I'm building a presentation or researching something to build something out, you know, or to even send an email or whatever, depending on the level of importance. And I'll have my list. It's actually attached to the left-hand side of my, my monitor so that I can see it. And then I carve out the time. And then, you know, I just turn on my favorite music station on Spotify, whatever that happens to be. And okay, this is Casual Friday, so I can say whatever I want to say. So I have 3 different types of music that change how I think about my work. One of them, and I learned this very young in college, university, etc., was a teacher told it to me actually. If you play classical music, your brain has a different level of focus. It allows you to absorb what you're doing and you can actually go faster than you thought possible because it helps your synapses for whatever reason. It's something to do with waves. It helps your brain really start pulling off that frame of reference and getting stuff done. It's bizarre, but that's how I used to revise. It works for me. So if I'm doing that detail-oriented work, like a spreadsheet or something like that, you know, really detailed, then I will listen to classical music. If I'm building a presentation and I also need to be the creative element of it too, like having to make it look pretty for execs or whatever, I listen to modern popular music or current trending high energy music. So, you know, Charlie Puth or something like that, you know, like Ed Sheeran, but that modern type music because it's got a level of energy that makes me go excited and then I get creative and then I start to do it. So that's how I get into my focus mode and I don't stop. My husband literally calls me a machine when it's like flipping a switch. You know, when I'm focused, there is nothing anyone can do to distract me. I am on it. And even if they distract me, I'll be like, I'll come back to you. And then I just get straight on it. I'll say, when I'm finished, I will deal with whatever that is. Unless it's an emergency. So that's what I do. It's literally like programming myself to find that focused energy and time to create the tasks that are ahead of me. That's what I do.
I love that flow. Getting into that state, just getting it done like it's automatic. It's just everything happens, and you are creating all of this. Like I said, it just flows.
Yeah.
How about you, Roger? How do you do?
I think I'm the least sophisticated of both of you. I need to time shift my day if I want to focus. So on days where I know I've got to get something done or I have a big bulk of work, I really like to get up. I might get up at 4 a.m.
Okay.
Just because everything is quiet.
Yeah.
Everything is cold. I don't work so well in the heat.
Okay.
And you know, just knowing that I've blocked that new bit of time out for me helps me get done what I need to do. I did have one question for you.
Tell me.
You said there's 3 types of music you listen
Yeah.
to, and you only told us 2 of them: classical and pop.
Okay, the third one is just because it's just from, I used to work in a music magazine. So during that time, garage and house music was what I listened to consistently for 4 years when I was working there, and that's my other vibe. And that just puts me into an absolute happy, uplifted mood. So it really doesn't matter what I'm focused on. My vibe is so happy on the inside that what's coming out in the form of work is going to be on point.
Yeah, Matt and I, one of the projects we did was photo booth.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that I didn't understand is related to exactly what you just said. We were running a photo booth. We had a bunch of photographers going, and we got, I don't know how many people were lined up to come in. This was for
200 if
maybe so. And you walked into the room, and it was kind of a dreary state.
Yeah.
And all of us workers were like, oh my God, there's 200 people waiting at the door.
Yeah.
And then people were just, you know, whatever. And your tip to us was change the music in the room.
That's right.
And you were talking about some sort of beats per minute thing and what have you. And we made that change, and all of a sudden everything in the room changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, focus music is key. Like Maria, like Masha said about music, it's helps me flow on the creative side of things. So I need to focus in the long duration a lot of times. So blocking out time, putting on music. If I'm struggling with something that is a large project, I try and do it in bite-sized pieces. So sometimes I use the Pomodoro technique, which is 20 minutes on, take a break, 20 minutes, take a break. And a lot of times when I come back to my computer to do the work, I'm refreshed. And I feel like I'm utilizing that time, because we all know when we're grinding and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So I get up, I move my body, get something to eat, hydrate. If you're dehydrated, your body and your brain aren't functioning properly. So stay hydrated, listen to music. If you like music, hopefully.
Whatever flavor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how I do it to stay focused. Well, thanks. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, that's great. I mean, yeah, that's how we find our focus. We hope you can find yours. Tell us all about it, right? Like, what do you do to focus? Awesome. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.